So, today I want to talk about how we can honor the opposite sex in our lives. Here's a little bit of my story of both my struggles and the things that I have found that work for me in ways that I can honor the opposite sex well in my life and treat others as Christ calls us to treat others. One of my favorite talks, chastity talks, there's a line from it that really always hits home for me. And it's from a chastity talk that's given on REAP retreats in the Archdiocese of St. Louis. They're phenomenal. They do a great job. And there's a line in the talk that they say and they share, and this is a line that always hits home for me. It is, we are not just a body. We all have a body, heart, mind, and soul. In high school, I tried all the time to use just my body to get the kind of attention from guys that I thought I wanted. In the way that I acted, the way that I dressed, talked, in my body language, in the way that I danced, I viewed, my identity through the lens of my body. And if that looked good, then that meant that I was good, So I really viewed myself as mainly or just my body and the way that I looked, and that was it. I didn't view that as connected with my mind, my heart, and my soul, all four things, which is what we are. I didn't realize the kind of attention that I was getting from the opposite sex, attention that I thought that I wanted at the time, would actually make me feel worse about myself in the end. In the moment, I acted like it was cool. This is the kind of attention that I want. So therefore, it made it okay. Things like, getting looks or whistled at from older guys in the grade above me, or, mostly for dressing a certain way, wearing things that were super tight or super short, getting comments or attention from them, getting a guy to call out to me from his car as he was driving by, or, when I was out with friends, getting attention from the guys in the group, going along with like just sexual jokes and innuendo and kind of laughing along with everybody else to seem like I was cool, or making fun of other girls, putting them down, using a lot of sarcasm and negative humor to make myself look good or funny or attractive, especially to the opposite sex. So while in the moment I thought that was the kind of attention that I wanted, and that was what I really desired in life, in the end it just made me feel worse about myself and gave me, focused me on my insecurities rather on who God was calling me to be. So we are all a body, heart, mind, and soul. And when we act, dress, and speak in a way that honors that dignity, that's when we truly can honor the opposite sex. I think we have to ask ourselves honestly and before God in prayer, what is the level of dignity, class, and respect that I have for my own body, heart, mind, and soul? What is the level that I would like other people to treat me, and what is the level that I have for myself of that respect? I think when we do that, we will not have any problems acknowledging that other people are also not just a body, but a body, heart, mind, and soul. And then we can honor the opposite sex well. So first for ourselves, ask ourselves, are we acting in accordance and honoring ourselves as body, heart, mind, and soul, or just a body? And where are we at with that? And then we can apply that to other people. Ways that I have truly been honored, thankfully, in my life by the opposite sex, the men in my life. I have 3 examples I want to share with you of men in my life who I have truly felt deeply honored by. So the first example, was a friend of mine in high school named Tom. We were just friends throughout high school. We never dated, but he showed me so much just about true friendship, being a good friend, listening, that kind of thing, just having fun. There was no pressure to date there, but just a great friendship. And he showed me like the level of respect that I should be receiving from friendships and from the guys in my life. He liked me for who I was. He asked me questions. He wanted to really get to know me. And that just was very honoring. It was a very super honoring friendship. Another person in my life who I've always felt honored by is my older brother, Steve. I have one brother. He's 18 months older than me, and was just an example of love and honor and respect. And one of the stories I tell about my brother is, I was distinctly remember this. We were going to church one day, and I was wearing a button-up shirt, and it was buttoned down pretty low, and I didn't even realize it. We were getting out of the car at church. We had pulled up. I think my brother had even driven me there, and we're going to go to mass together. I get out of the car, and he just so gently and such an honoring way turned to me and said, Erica, you might want to button up your shirt, maybe just one more. And when I tell that story, sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, what did he say to you? How can he tell you that? Like, were you mad? But honestly, no. I felt protected and loved and honored, and it was so beautiful. It was so honoring to me of my dignity and just calling me to more and to respect my own body, which was beautiful. I'm so grateful that he had the courage to, in a gentle way, call me out on that, and it was a very honoring way to do that. And then my final example is my now husband, Greg. When we first started dating, I'll never forget going with Greg through the drive-thru for the first time. I know it sounds kind of random, but it was incredible to me the level of respect that he had in speaking with the person who was taking our order, and just the way that he was interacting with them. I was blown away. I was like, wow, like, he is really honoring of other people, not just of the person, the woman that he's dating, which was me, but also of every other person that we interacted with. And even just yesterday, I was just so impressed by him, like making sure that the door was held open for somebody. And I had to step aside and wait for him, but it was so beautiful, and such an honoring thing. He didn't even question it. He didn't even think about it. He just did it. And I think that is just a great example of ways that we can honor other people, whether that's the opposite sex, someone we're dating, or just every person in general deserves that level of respect and honor, acknowledging that their body, heart, mind, and soul, and really honoring and treating them with a lot of dignity and respect. It just meant so much to me as we started our dating relationship. And even now that we're married, I still see that example. And it just calls me to a higher standard. And I'm so grateful for the way that honors me as his wife. So I have a couple of challenges to end with that will hopefully help you in your acknowledging that you are body, heart, mind, and soul. Honoring that first for yourself, then turning that to honor the opposite sex as well. So here are a couple of things that have really helped me. First and foremost, find ways to honor your own dignity and get rid of or cut out what does not acknowledge that you are all four of these things: body, heart, mind, and soul. So for me, what that means practically, I have a one post. If there is something that's posted that is really bordering on porn or just over glorifying the body, I will unfollow or unsubscribe from whoever is posting it. It may sound extreme or like it's not that big of a deal, but those things get in your brain and they can play on your insecurities and make you feel worse about yourself or tempt you to treat yourself as just a body. And that's not okay. I don't want that in my life, and I encourage you, if that's a struggle for you, to do this. There are better things to follow and subscribe to that are much more positive, are going to make you feel good about yourself, than following someone who's posting questionable things. So for me, that means unfollowing and unsubscribing from the things that, as I said, border on porn or are glorifying the body and playing into my own insecurities. I don't need that in my life, and I feel like God is calling me to something more, and to view myself as body, heart, mind, and soul. And things that lead me down a different path, I don't want them to be part of my life. The other thing is that I don't listen to radio stations or TV shows, again, that have those same characteristics that are pulling me down a path that will cause me to think, along the lines of I'm just a body, and kind of ignoring the fact that I have a soul that I want to keep clean and keep close to God. And so I don't need those things in my life. And as I said, there are better things that you can follow and invest your time and energy into. For everyone I contact, It sounds simple, but it's an awesome way to honor the opposite sex. Ask questions, keep your focus, helps you to be a better listener. When a guy looks at me in the eyes, it says, he cares, he wants to get to know me as a person. And that's with anyone, right? We feel more valued and honored when someone is looking us in the eyes when they're talking to us. Guys, with your language, girls don't find it super attractive when you're always telling that's what she said jokes. It may be funny. It may be really funny. Or you might think this is the funniest thing ever and I'm such a clever person. I don't know. However, guaranteed that guys who do not do that and, are still funny and still interesting are going to hold our attention more, and we're going to find them more attractive. And ladies, don't laugh at that stuff. Like, we are better than that, and we can, tell our own jokes that are funny without using it. Let's be an example to the guys of how we can do that and how that's more honoring. Guys, take the lead and plan your dates with girls that you're asking out. Plan them well. Don't put her in a situation, or your date in a situation where she's going to feel uncomfortable or compromised in any way. And that just, you want her to feel honored. And that's very honoring for her if you do that. And ladies, a challenge for you, if you have no intentions of actually wanting to date someone or have a relationship as a boyfriend or a girlfriend with them, please don't flirt or lead a guy on. It's not honoring of your dignity to be a tease. So don't do that. Don't date or ask a guy out simply because he's quote unquote safe while you have no intentions of being anything more than just friends with him. I've seen guys who get asked to prom or dance because, it's convenient and they're easy to ask, or they're a friend, but you have no intentions of taking that relationship any further. And then his heart is hurt by that because he thought, maybe I do have a chance with her. And then he finds out she has no intentions. And so that can be really rough. So, you wouldn't want that done to you. So you shouldn't do that to someone else. So a way that you can be honoring is just to be clear in your intentions. What are your intentions? Is this just as friends? Then say that that's what it is. And don't lead him on to thinking that it could be something more when it's not going to be. So, just some tips that I have found in my life and examples of men who have truly made me feel honored. And I hope that this video inspires you in your relationships and in your friendships to find ways